Good afternoon and welcome to Hamden, Connecticut for today's soccer matchup between the Quinnipiac Bobcats and Stonehill Skyhawks. I'm Meaghan Phillips and alongside me is Matt Mugno bringing you today's game. Matt, who are your key players for the game?
It's got to be Captain David Bercedo and Tomas Svekula. Svekula was named the Offensive Player of the Week for the MAC conference for the week of September 12th. And he recorded a goal and 2 assists against Sacred Heart. And Bercedo, the captain, leads the team in goals. Now for the Stonehill Skyhawks, we're looking at one player and one player only, really, who recorded 5 goals for the team. And that is Jacob Woznicki, who has 5 goals on the season and 10 points with 25 shots had. He's their striker, and he's one of the only goal scorers for the Skyhawks thus far this season who has more than 1 goal.
Absolutely. The Skyhawks kick off with the Bobcats in possession of the ball. Bobcats in the white and the Skyhawks in the purple. That's João Pinto on the ball. Matt Pisani is going to be in goal today for the Bobcats. Luke Allen on the right side. He'll pass that out for Rystad. Rystad getting his first start of the season. Allen swings it across the box for Pinto. Pinto showing his calmness. He'll play that back for Allen. Allen looks forward. Rystad turns, feeling a bit of pressure. Plays it forward for Svekula. Through the midfield, Bercedo back to Svekula. Looks to switch the ball. Sterngard trying to get on the end of this one. That's just going to run out of reach and go for a Skyhawks goal kick. Ryan Kutu in goal for the Skyhawks. Bringing the lineups here. Sutterquist, Carroll, Ryan, Fuller, Davis, Mazza, Bergeron, Woznicki, O'Neill, Fonseca, and Hargraves. All on the field currently for the Skyhawks. Looking to get something going here, coming down the left-hand side. Trying to cut through the middle. Svekula doing a good job of working back. Skyhawks cutting through the midfield. Trying to find Davis's feet. Unable to. So Pinto is going to reset with Pisani. Back to Pinto. Pinto calm on the ball. Back for Allen. For the Bobcats side, let's take a look at their lineups. Pinto, Allen, Svekula, Bercedo, Hawley, Pisani in goal, Sterngard, Rystad, Smith, Bozic, and Del Suze all on the field here. Pinto still on the ball, getting lots of touches in early. Bozic back for Pinto, across for Sterngard. Sterngard finds Bercedo's feet. He feels some pressure behind him. From Sutterquist, back for Smith. All the way to Pinto. He'll look to switch that for Allen. Allen taking a touch forward. Out of reach for Svekula. That's going to reset with the Skyhawks. That'll be Fuller. Bobcats in again. Hawley. Forward. Now Sterngard plays it out wide for Del Suze. Del Suze switches the ball, finding Svekula on the right side. Keeps it outside of the box here. Fuller applying a bit of pressure. Svekula back for Rystad. In for Sterngard. Svekula back on the ball. Back for Rystad. Bozic coming all the way back to the halfway line for Pinto. Pinto coming out the left side. Plays it forward to Del Suze. Back to Smith.
Sorry, Meaghan. This is a good opportunity for the Bobcats to finally set up their offense and get something going early in this game.
Absolutely. We've seen in their past couple of games as well, they like to be calm on the ball, and that's right from the get-go what they're doing here. 3 minutes in, they've pretty much had all of the possession except for, I think, the first kickoff.
They have a great transition game where they're able to move the ball from the backfield because of how strong their backfield is. Already before conference play this season, they start conference play next game, and they've had some ups, some downs, but mostly ups. Their first years in the back end are doing really well, and leadership from Luke Allen has been tremendous in the backfield. They've really shut down any opportunities that their opponents have had, and they've only had 2 losses that were more than 2 goals.
Absolutely. So a solid start so far from the Bobcats. It'll be interesting once they get into season to see, or into conference play, how they can keep carrying that through. Bozic on the yellow. He's going to pass that for Bercedo, back for Rystad. Trying to find Svekula. Gets it back for Bozic. Chips that one forward. Play continues. Svekula inside the box. Gets awarded with a corner kick there. Smith is going to walk over for this one in swinging left-footed. Barcedo raising his hand, wanting the ball. Some commotion, a low ball driven in, and that goes out, awarded for another corner. Must have flicked off of one of these Skyhawk defenders. Smith not happy with his delivery. He gets a second chance.
The Bobcats can strike early here if they set up and they're able to capitalize on this opportunity, and that's a great way to start the game against the Stonehill Skyhawks team that struggles to score goals and capitalize on their opportunities to counter.
A good job by Kutu coming out and clearing that, also clearing his own defender there. Nonetheless, the ball is all the way back to Pisani. Out for Sterngard. Telsus tried a one-time half volley, not able to get enough connection on it, allowed it to be cleared. Luke Allen's going to get on it for Rystad. Through the middle to Sterngard. Davis working hard there for Skyhawks, trying to get it back all the way to Pinto. See space in front of him. He'll take that forward for Smith. Smith turns that one over to Carroll in the midfield. Easy ball here. Pisani tells his team to slow down. He gives that back out to Rystad. Forward for Svakula. Rystad cuts through the middle, but plays that back for Pinto. He's going to feel some pressure now from Fonseca.
Pisani is a Cheshire, Connecticut native, which is right down the road.
Absolutely. He's one of the only Connecticut natives on this team.
There may be more Connecticut natives actually on the Skyhawks.
The Skyhawks rewarded for a foul was Nicky, getting that one for his team.
Speaking of hometowns, Woznicki's from Bristol, Connecticut. Senior, he's their goal scorer, so this is a good opportunity for the Skyhawks to try and jump early.
Absolutely. Sean Ryan's going to stand over this ball. Another left-footed, looking to in-swing it. The Skyhawks going deep. Ryan with the delivery, plays it short for Maza Bergeron. Bergeron still on the ball, plays that one out wide for Carroll, who's going to be called offside.
Ryan's the guy you want to have the ball in that situation. He has 6 career assists and 11 shots on goal, but unable to thread anything there.
It was a good look by them. They had all the Bobcat defenders tucking into the 18 and nobody really picking up Maza Bergeron sitting outside. Smith on the ball. Threads the needle there for Luke Allen to get on it. Was Nicky trying to win it. Goes out wide for Svakula. Takes it inside for Hawley. Hawley one touch back. We'll play that for Allen. Now the Skyhawks stepping their lineup a little bit more here. Trying to apply a bit more pressure to the back line. Allen looks over the top for Svakula. Hargraves is going to get on the end of it. He'll kick that one out of bounds, giving Rystad a throw-in. Rystad into the feet of Hawley. Hawley back to the midfield line for Pinto. Now the Skyhawks with the ball. Back heel drag from Ryan will give Fonseca the ball. Going to go all the way back for Hargraves. Now Kutu on the ball. Plays this one out for Setterquist.
Coming into this game, I had the thought that maybe the Bobcats would possess a lot more, and they had for quite some time. But it looks like the Skyhawks are getting their fair touches, and it's been pretty up and down the field thus far.
Now we've seen the Bobcats are able to hold on to this ball, and that's going to be a good thing throughout the length of this game if it can continue. But what do the Skyhawks need to do in order to get some shots on goal?
I think it's generating more passes and more long balls. You've seen how the Bobcats are able to stretch the field, and they've tried to hit Smith. They tried the cross-field pass early in the game, and they've tried to hit Svakula, who they're trying to incorporate a little bit more in their offense. And I think that's where the Skyhawks have lacked, is they haven't really had an opportunity close to the box besides that kick they had. So I think it's really trying to get the stretch ball, trying to feed the ball, get it up in the air, go the distance, try and get some legs going on the ground, and I think it's really stretching the field out and trying to get upfield quicker rather than trying to feed the ball through, player to player like foosball, right, Meaghan? As opposed to that style, like trying to get it downfield, stretch the ball, get it downfield, and maybe get some speed into the game.
Absolutely. No rush here, though. Only 9.5 minutes into the game. Still lots of time. Sterngard on the ball, goes out wide for Smith. He's going to try and run down the left-hand side.
This is Smith's A game right here.
Absolutely. Hawley plays a through ball. Bersato just backs his head off of that one. Kind of a bullet there for him to control. Smith heads out for Dalsuz, who just misses the ball. Bersato tries to get onto the end of it, but that's going to end up being Fuller for the Skyhawks. Bobcats back on it. Bersato for Sterngard. Svakulo at top. Tries the shot, not able to work it through. Sterngard, one just off the crossbar. Some disbelief in that from Sterngard. He puts the shirt over his head.
What a find from Sterngard to get it across. He started that passing play, and those are the players that you want active. Sterngard, Bersato, in the box right there with that opportunity. Hits the post, but you generate more opportunities, quality opportunities like that, and capitalize. You'll be in good position in this game.
And one good thing about this Bobcat team is how versatile they are as well. You've seen Sterngard drop back into the defensive line so that Smith can push on, but then you look up and Sterngard is right back in the 18-yard box again, so he's really going to be back and forth all over this field.
Sterngard has the capability to do that as well. He registered 6 shots against Harvard in a loss, and he registered 6 shots against Sacred Heart in a win. And he also scored a goal stepping up on the offensive side of the ball while he was named the Rookie of the Week last week for the MAC. So he's really been versatile. Like you're saying, the defense is able to transition the ball so well and jump into the offensive play that it gives the Bobcats those extra players on the attack.
Sterngard finds Dalsuz in the 18. Dalsuz left-footed gets a corner out of this one. As you're mentioning Sterngard, though, starting that play right there.
He's like an engine out of the back end, and it's been a pleasure to watch him thus far this season, be able to find those through balls and get feeds like that. And that's what the Skyhawks need on the other side of the ball, on the offensive side of the field.
Sterngard standing over this one. He'll swing this one in on the back post. Kutu coming out to clear this one once again. Kutu quick off of his line. Now the Skyhawks in possession, trying to come down the right side. Pinto just beats him. Skyhawks with a through ball. Pisani coming out of his box. Says no worries to his team. Takes us at his feet. Slows the game back down.
That was a good look.
Absolutely was. A great through ball. Just out of the reach, though, for the Skyhawks forward, Zach Davis. Rystad on the ball. Not able to play that with his left foot. Now Bozic, he's going to get a foul rewarded for him. Bobcat still in possession. Hawley playing this one for Allen. Across for Pinto. Woznicki right now playing as the high forward. You can see their press has stepped up a little bit. Allen on it, finds Rystad. Forward for Bersato. He's going to get a burst of speed into the midfield. Bersato pokes it. Just blocked off, though, by Fonseca. Bobcats still in possession. Smith, left-footed. Not able to get that and thread the needle through that back line, but Pinto is going to step on it. Hawley here taking it down. Coming back to the left side. He'll play this for Smith. Slowing it down again here. Trying to find Dalsuz. Back for Smith. Out wide to Hawley. Hawley gets blocked there by Mazza Bergeron. Smith resetting this all the way back to Pisani. Allen in no rush to get rid of the ball. Plays that back for Pisani. Tries to find Hawley on the left side. Fonseca will step into that one, though. A bit surprised he didn't get the foul call on that, but Hawley tries to throw the ball in, even though it is a Skyhawks ball. Mazza Bergeron gets this one in. Interesting kick by Pinto, but it worked. Hawley to Bozic, back for Hawley. Through to Sterngard in the midfield. Allen's going to be the one to switch it to Svekula. Forward for Sterngard, back for Svekula. Out the left side to Hawley. He'll take a touchdown towards the end line, tries to get something on it. And that's going to go out for a goal kick. A good defensive play there by Maz Bergeron.
Talk about the transition game. Pinto and Allen have done such a great job in transition. They always seem to make the right play. And Pinto's a first-year defender from Portugal, from Faro, Portugal. It's amazing to see how he's acclimated so quickly to MAC play and step up in the big moments already.
Especially coming in as first-year players, you really want to make your mark on the coach, and it seems that a couple of these players have definitely done that. You've got Del Suze, Pinto, even with Sterngard stepping up in there. Now Barcedo playing that for Sterngard. Good defensive play by the Skyhawks. Barcedo back for Hawley. Finds Bozic. Threads it through for Del Suze in the 18. Left-footed cross there. A weak clearance by Setterquist. Smith tries to let that one go. That gets blocked. Hawley now over for Bozic. Outside the 18. Lets this one rip. Coutu with a good save. Coutu getting on the end of it, but Barcedo tries to put that one in. A foul called on Barcedo. Getting a bit of a talking to by the ref here. A good look by him to try and come on this one.
A juicy rebound, a nice play by Coutu, but what a read for Barcedo to at least attempt to get to the net and tap that in.
Exactly, and it's good to show the goalie, too, that Barcedo's going to come in flying at the ball. He's not afraid of it. But a great save by Coutu. I wonder if it was a bit of a knuckleball. He seemed to be diving to his right side, and the ball he saved back on his left side.
This is your wheelhouse here, Meaghan, with goalkeeping. So I'll let you handle that analysis.
Perfect. I'll keep the assessments. Pinto for Allen. Bobcats back in possession. A foul was called right after Coutu cleared the ball. Hawley with it. A rough touch, so it'll go out of bounds. Maz Bergeron getting on this one. DeCosta still fighting with the ref on what the foul was possibly called about. Waves his hand a little bit. Allen gets tripped up. Smith doing a good job. Keeps the ball for Bozic. He's going to look forward. Nothing on for him. He'll play that back for Rysad. Svekula down the line for Sterngard. Steps over it. Seemed to deke himself out just a little bit there. Skyhawks on the ball. O'Neill turns it over in the midfield for Bozic. Barcedo finds Del Suze on the outside. Del Suze trying to keep this one is not able to do so. Skyhawks with a goal kick.
I think what's the most interesting storyline developing for the Bobcats is they're without Brog Assen, their primary striker from last season. He recorded 11 goals in 2021, and this season, today, he's injured, and I believe he was injured last game. Nothing was really released on what the injury was, but he is their striker, and they try and feed a lot of the offense through him. And they've done quite well creating opportunities, maybe not capitalizing on as many as they would hope to, but last game they recorded 25 shots, and already today they put a few shots on net, and Barcedo showed that hard-nosed, get-to-the-net mentality, so it's great to see that without their primary striker, they're still able to capitalize and create opportunities.
They've even picked up some technical skill there by Sterngard. He shows that he's able to get on the ball and play with it, which is something that's going to be very key. That's what Austin does very well, is he gets on the ball and he drives at players. Skyhawks in possession here. Ryan is going to start the counterattack the other way. Carroll on the ball, plays it through. Offside, though. Woznicki just a little bit too excited trying to get on the end of that one.
He's their main striker, right? They're trying to feed the ball to Woznicki. He has 5 goals thus far in the season. And as mentioned before, they only have 4 other goal scorers, and they each have recorded only a single goal. So he's the only multi-goal scorer on the season with 6 games started. So he's almost at a goal per game.
Yeah, and with the 2-4 record, it's a bit hard when you're just relying on one person to do the job. Del Suze Looks up, finds Barcedo, but Barcedo not making that run. Delsu showing a bit of frustration, but as you were just saying, it's going to be hard throughout the course of this season. What if anything happens to Woznicki, you really have your main goal scorer out, and the rest of the team, somebody's got to pick it up. And that on the Bobcat side has been where they've seen the good in Barcedo, and they've even Svakula getting goals in there. Everybody's really getting their touches on the ball, which has showed their depth on the bench.
The Bobcats have more of an umbrella. They're more, as you mentioned, versatility is key to their game, and that's what they really worked on this season, because last season it felt the same way, where it felt like Austin was the only goal scorer, and if he wasn't scoring, they didn't have that support. It's a good sign of growth as well. DeCosta recognized that, and it's his 18th season as the head coach, and the coaching staff's been together for a little while, so recognizing that they needed that change to have more support was crucial for success this season. Last season was their worst season in years, with a 4-6 record in conference play.
And they're ranked this year coming in at 4th, so they got something to prove. Svakula on the right side, he'll crack that one just wide. 20 minutes in, the scoreline still stands at 0. Bobcats getting a couple good looks.
Yes, Svakula with a good look there, and he's become a lot more active in the offense the last week or so. He was named the MAC Offensive Player of the Week, and the first few games you didn't hear his name as much. It seemed like Jared Smith might be the player that was going to step up and be that third man up front aside from Barcedo and Austin, and it's proven to be Svakula the last few games.
Yes, Smith has really just stapled his name in there in the back line, but he does show that he can be a forward-pressing player, bringing them into a 3-back and giving them an extra attacker up top. And here goes Smith. He's going to run up on the left side. Just tripped up there between two of the Skyhawk defenders. Skyhawks going to remain in possession, but a great run there by Smith and a good look by Pinto to try and find him.
Yeah, Smith is... We mentioned the transition game. He gets his wheels going, and he's a great force to drive the ball up the left wing. He's got some speed, and he's made some great plays thus far this season as a playmaker driving the ball upfield.
Allen resetting this for Pisani. Out for Pinto on the left side. Skyhawks stepping up their press just a little bit more as Davis was running onto that. A switch ball for Svakula. Feeling pressure on his back. He's going to release this one into the feet of Barcedo. Out for Sterngard. Sterngard wide for Rystad. Rystad drops that one into the box. Svakula just off of his head, but Svakula going to get a... Oh, the ref is calling a goal kick off of this one. I'm not really sure how we saw that was a goal kick. It hit Svakula's head first and then the Skyhawks player, but Skyhawks going to start out with this one. Setterquist takes a touch out of his feet, looks long. Trying to find Woznicki. Woznicki can't get on the end of that one.
Woznicki has a great shooting percentage. He has 15 shots on goal and 5 goals. So he's the player, again, that it seems like all the focus is on Woznicki, and if you can negate Woznicki from the offensive side of the ball, it doesn't seem they have as many support players as the Bobcats have, as we mentioned, and we haven't really mentioned any other names.
Absolutely. Svakula picks that off. Out wide for Barcedo. Barcedo taking his touch to the inside. Not able to get past the Skyhawks defender, Hargraves. Skyhawks now on their counter. Fuller plays that one for Carroll, who loses it. Sterngard takes a touch wide. He's on the right side. Looks through for Delsus. Delsus left foot. Pass. Kutu.
Delsus with the goal. And what a feed from Sterngard, who made the play on the defender and got his wheels going to find the cross pass.
And there, you're mentioning the transition. They did just that. Lose the ball, win it back, and Sterngard, first one on this ball again.
What a touch to get by the defender who dove down and blocked the pass.
He really is going to be a player to watch for the Bobcats throughout the rest of this season and the rest of his time here. He's in his first year, and he's definitely done a lot already for this team.
Add another assist, and he has 5 on the season. He has a goal and 5 assists. He was already the Rookie of the Week last year in a MAC play in the MAC conference. So Sterngard's making a name for himself early here as a midfielder, and what a play to get by the defender to feed Delsus. And Delsus great playmaking ability and finding that open space in the field to go backdoor, recognize that no one was really there to get the easy feed.
That's also going to be Del Souza's first goal as a Bobcat. So a big game for him getting that one in there.
Congratulations to him for that, right?
Absolutely. Looking out onto the field here, we got Luke Allen being attended to.
Luke Allen's a major part of the backfield. He's a great communicator and a great leader for the younger players who are holding their own, but he's that seasoned player that communicates really well. You can always hear him yelling and commanding in the back end, so he's a key piece. Hopefully he's not out for the rest of the game.
Shirenbeck did come out to midfield, possibly adding him in. He's also a first-year player, but he's definitely stepped up this year within the back line when Allen has not been able to play. In their previous game, Shirenbeck took the lead on that one. He's from Germany.
He's been stout as well. He's in that same breath that we've been talking about Pinto. Shirenbeck's been great stepping in. He's 6'3". He has the range, he has the size, and he's been shut down thus far in this season. So before conference play, it's really good to have those players that can also step into the lineup. And DeCosta actually had a quote on that. He mentioned that on a September 4th interview, it's really important from a coaching perspective to know that you have a security blanket. If you lose a player or you need to make a change, then you have someone of equal play and quality that can do the job. And he said that to Q30 Sports reporter Zach Hogberg. So I think that speaks volumes to the fact that they don't have Brog Assen, and they may lose Luke Allen for the rest of this game. It's important to have those players that can step in.
Certainly is, as Allen is going to walk off to the side with the training staff. Shirenbeck running back up to midfield. Looks like there will be a sub in here at 23 minutes. Quinnipiac leading 1-0 so far in this game. As we look over to the board, Bobcats have tallied 3 shots. 2 of those, however, on goal. One goal so far, and Kutu making 2 saves. Pisani not facing anything yet. But anything can happen. This is a long game. Dalsuz plays this one wide for Barcedo. Barcedo on the left side, forward for Dalsuz again. Dalsuz left-footed across, can't find any Bobcats. That gets cleared out. Hawley takes this one down. Not able to find Svekula, gets picked off. On the attack, Carroll. Rystad, a good slide in from him, so Shirenbeck making his first touch on the ball. Gets this one, play that back for Pisani. Pisani feeling and looking really relaxed so far. Plays this one for Pinto, across for Smith. Smith cutting inside for Bozic. Back for Smith.
Shirenbeck getting his first touches of the game.
Yep. Playing a bit of pass with Pisani, not feeling any pressure there from Woznicki. Dalsuz in the midfield, he's going to turn. Trips up over the ball. Now the Skyhawks on the counter. Woznicki. He cuts to the midfield, or the middle. Back out to the outside. Woznicki looks for a cross ball. Carroll not getting on the end of that one.
Woznicki really walked the defender there. Shirenbeck, I believe that was Shirenbeck, who just got into the game in place of Luke Allen. He's a stout defender, but Woznicki made a nice play to cut to the inside and cut to the outside again to try and get that shot off. If someone was backdoor, could have easily tapped that in, but that was a good play by Woznicki. It was good to see that the Skyhawks are starting to generate a little bit on the offensive side of the ball, and it's coming from the man they need to.
Certainly, and for any player that just checks into the game, you really want to, especially in the back line, your team's now down by a goal. You want to just try and take them on and see if they're going to do anything, possibly give up a foul. Anything like that will help out your team. And speaking of checking into the game, Jason Budai will also check in, taking off Ramesh Dalsuz.
You know what I call him? I call him the Energizer Bunny. Every time he comes off the bench, he seems to bring so much energy to the game.
He really is a force to be reckoned with once he's on the ball. Even off the ball, he moves so fast. Svakula trying to cut into the midfield. That gets picked off by Hargraves. He'll play that one back, allowing Shirenbeck to get on it. And Budai might not be on the starting lineup, but he definitely is a key player on this Bobcats side. He really does come in to every single game and makes a difference. He might not start the first half or the second half, but he definitely comes in and he brings something. He's gotten a couple goals, too, on this season. Pisani getting a bit of pressure there, who plays that one up to the midfield line.
Budai might be one of the most important players, despite the fact that, as you mentioned, he doesn't start in most of the games, if any of the games thus far this season. But he's recorded a game-winning goal before. He's recorded a game-winning goal against Monmouth last season, and he has 2 goals and assists this season. So coming off the bench, he's a really critical player to have. And, again, it speaks to the team's depth. We've talked about it all day thus far, right?
Rice said he's going to hold the ball for Svakula. Plays that one for Sterngard. Back out to the right side for Rystad. Now Sterngard down to the touchline. Sterngard plays this one in. Finds the head of Barcedo. Barcedo getting knocked down. Tries to look for a foul, but one is not going to be awarded. Well, in that, he loses his shoe in the process.
Got to put his cleat back on.
Bobcats still continuing on with Barcedo on the ground. Now they'll knock it out, giving the Skyhawks the ball.
You got to feed your scorers, right? And Barcedo again in the mix, trying to get the header off and loses cleat in the process. He's got to get that, keep that cleat on.
A long ball forward was Nicky, taking that down at midfield. There's a bit of respect between the teams there. The Bobcats put it out to allow Barcedo to get the ball, so the Skyhawks reward them with the ball again. Budai in the midfield for Barcedo. Takes a touch out for Sterngard. Sterngard feeds Holly through the midfield. Holly takes a touch. Gets tripped up there a bit by Mazza Bergeron, not allowing him to come through now. On the ball, struggling a bit, Sean Ryan. But cleared out the Skyhawks. Nicky goes up for it, so does Pinto. Pinto wins that, but it'll go all the way back for Shirenbeck. He finds Svakula on the right side. Back for Rystad.
Again, Pinto winning the one-on-one. He seems to always do that in the back end, and that's what's driven a lot of the success and how they're able to lock things down and clog up any offensive opportunities that the Skyhawks have brought today and any other opponent has brought all season.
Something about the long legs with their back line. They get that reach in and can stop up any player. Svakula feeds Budai forward. Budai trying to take the keeper on one-on-one. Plays it left-footed just behind Barcedo. A little bit earlier would have allowed Barcedo to get on that. Barcedo back, plays that one back for Sterngard. Sterngard makes the defender. Barcedo for Svakula outside the foot. Not able to find any connection there. But Budai back for Smith. Left-footed through to Barcedo. Barcedo in the midfield. Barcedo in a goal.
What a beauty.
A quick little play there by the Bobcats. Keeping that ball in the 18 really made it dangerous for them. And out for Budai, out for Svakula, out for Sterngard. But all the less it just ends back on Barcedo's foot and right past that goalkeeper.
He's like a magnet. He's like a magnet. The captain's like a magnet. He finds his foot. He's in the box, makes the chip play in front, right there in front of the keeper, Kutu. And play started with Budai. He probably had a good opportunity to take the shot on his own when he first got the ball streaking in. Goes for the pass. The ball comes back. A meg play. Ball finds Barcedo in front, and what a goal.
And a good idea on the Bobcats not to try and pull the ball back out, to try and go back in. They really just kept it and squished all of their players in there, which created a bit of chaos, and it was definitely chaos on the Skyhawks end when they were trying to defend all of that. You're looking left and right, and there's a white jersey wherever you're going.
Yeah, they kept the ball in deep in the box. Smith with a great move on a defender one-on-one to get the feed off, and the play started with Budai streaking upfield and the long pass. We talked about the long pass before, getting it upfield and using those legs, and the Bobcats were able to capitalize on that.
With that, the Skyhawks brought in a change. Michael Moylan will come in for Terrence O'Neill. Moylan getting on the ball here. The ref's going to move this one back. Foul there was on Jason Budai. Couple substitutes even for the Bobcats ready to come in. Mazza Bergeron plays this one forward, trying to get Fonseca on the end of it. Bobcats will hit that one out. A corner was Nicky's going to stand over it. And now he's being told to switch out. I was going to say, do you really want your leading goal scorer taking the kick instead of being in the box trying to get on the other end of it? He got the call out there. So Sean Ryan is going to stand over top of it.
And Sean Ryan is their assist leader. So he has 6 career assists. So he's the guy you want.
Absolutely. Delivers this to the back post. Matt Pisani coming out big, making a good save there. Now he'll get a call. Now Pisani's going to get on this one.
Nice play by Pisani. That's the most active we've seen him today. This reminds me of the workload he had against the Hartford Hawks on September 3rd, where he just wasn't challenged that much. Now, sometimes, Megan, you could speak to this, like a goaltender can be cold if they're not challenged enough, but it doesn't seem the Skyhawks are bringing the opportunities or have the threats that you have to worry if he's not facing the shot opportunities.
Yeah, certainly. It's definitely hard as a goalie when the game you're not really seeing any shots. That really was the Skyhawks' first shot attempt on goal, so it's hard to stay and make sure you're really focused the whole time. The ball in deep around the 6-yard, but Smith is going to clear that one out. Barcedo holding this one up. Hits the ref there. But Svakula still on the ball. Stern guard now. But yeah, speaking as a goalie,
Looking like McCann and Wilder.
Terrence Wilder is going to come in for Svakula. Sam McCann coming in for Barcedo. Alex Miller will be taking the place of Alex Hawley.
Barcedo walking off for his first rest of the game, and he's got a goal.
Yeah, heading into conference play is now when you want to let some of your bigger players rest up a little bit more. Obviously, they're still going to be key in this game because you don't want it to get out of control, but you do also want them to be fresh for when the season starts. Sam
You
McCann.
can see Luke Allen, right, just went down before. He's a key player. You don't want them injured or run down when you're entering conference play.
Two substitutions as well for the Skyhawks. Ekram Hadzik comes in for Bergeron Mazza, and Aiden O'Sullivan comes in for Zach Davis. Long throw headed by Smith. Will go all the way back for Shimerbeck. Finds Rysat at the half-field line. Plays this one back out for Smith, under control. And he'll get them a throw-in.
We talk about the health and conditioning of the players, and the Skyhawks start their season on a 7-game road trip. So they're close to the end of that trip, but they've been on the road the entire season.
Yeah, playing away games is certainly hard. You get into a whole different mindset, especially having to wake up earlier to travel and get there. So it's a completely different game, but could also be good practice for them in the long run. Terrence Wilder checking into this game, getting his yellow card. Went a little bit full force on the Stonehill defender there. 34 minutes into the game, Bobcats up 2-0.
When you start the game, you set the tone, but when you're coming off of the bench sometimes, it's tough to get into the game, to get acclimated. You know, you have all that energy. We see how Budai does a great job controlling that, but he's consistently coming off the bench where for Wilder, he has jumped to his game, and it's not the first minute, so not everyone's playing with that same jump.
Exactly, and you want to try and keep the intensity that the players coming off just had, but maybe just back off that little bit. You don't need it too full force, especially in the last 10 minutes of this first half. Kutu kicked that one all the way out of bounds for a Bobcat throw-in. Pinto Gonna get on this one. Plays across for Smith on the left side. Smith taking a touch back for Pinto. Playing along the back line. Sterngard going to step in there and take the ball. He plays up forward, trying to find Sam McCann. He'll find Alex Miller set on the left side. Miller holding it up. He'll drive to the touchline. A left-footed cross there. A good defensive stop by Hargraves. Smith, though, with the ball still. Gets the pressure of two Skyhawk players. Now Pinto back on the ball. Resets it with Shirenbeck. Finds Rystad, finding Wilder on the right side. Wilder taking his space. Will play McCann. On the right side, McCann will draw that back. Playing it down the line again for Wilder. Wilder going to be rewarded with a penalty here. From getting a yellow card to now getting the penalty. A great running play by him and poor defensively by the Skyhawks to give up that penalty.
You mentioned attacking the defenders, right? Like, he has fresh legs. Get in on that, and that's what he's rewarded with, right? He's going attacking the defender. You'd mentioned that before on the other side of the ball for the Skyhawks, but now they have an opportunity. The Bobcats have the opportunity to score here off of that play.
Sterngard is going to be the one standing over it as the whistle blows. Sterngard to the left side, just past keeper as Kutu goes completely the wrong way. 3-0.
And who else do you want taking that shot?
Exactly.
Who else do you want taking that shot right now? He's on fire. Sterngard's on fire. Has an assist this game. Was Rookie of the Week last week and now has a goal on that penalty kick.
Yeah, you need somebody to stay calm on the ball, and that's what Sterngard. That's who he is when he plays, and that's who he was when he stepped over that ball. He just took his deep breath, heard the whistle go, and away he went.
It would be hard to doubt that he capitalizes on that opportunity as well, the way things are going his way, but it's from all the hard work he's putting in.
Sterngard here checking out. Gives room for Ole Freakstad to check in.
Freakstad's has some pretty good showings as a sub recently, recording a goal last game, or in their last home game against Sacred Heart.
36 minutes in the Bobcats lead, 3-0, 7 shots, and 6 of those are going to be on goal. Some good statistics for the Bobcats in this first half, that's for sure.
It's not always about the math, but that's very telling.
Wilder finds Bozic. He crashes in the midfield, plays an outside the foot ball. Had a bit of pressure there from Sean Ryan and just misses Smith with that pass. Bozic reclaiming himself, heads that one down for Smith. To play for it for McCann, back for Miller. Miller dropped back into a midfield position now. Shirenbeck gives this one away. Ekram Hadzic plays this one out wide. And an offside call is going to be made against Moylan.
Soiled their own opportunity for that play.
Certainly, they have a couple of times. I believe that was their third offside call when they've really had the chance to try and take one on goal.
The best opportunity we've seen in the first half was Wozniak driving, I believe it was Schoenbeck, who came into the game for Allen, and he'd only been in the game for a few minutes, tried to take him inside, outside, walked him a little bit, and had a shot opportunity that just missed the left post. But other than that, that one-on-one play, as you mentioned, that was the second or third offside of the first half for the Skyhawks, and they haven't really generated much offense aside from that.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to win games when you're not offensively putting some shots on goal. Now, Budai trying to play a little bit with his feet there, but that one's just going to be launched over by Miller, who tries to hit it one time.
It's very comforting for DaCosta to have subs that don't feel like substitute players like Budai, McCann. You just brought up Miller with that really a rocket shot that goes over the net. I mean, they don't really feel like they're substitute players. And they've contributed so much on the score sheet as well the last few games that it seems like it's really they're just giving their captain Bursato a rest and things of that nature.
A rough tackle in there. I believe that's Moylan. is going to be getting a yellow card awarded to him. The ball gets kicked out. I think Smith was saying it was a bit soft, but Rysad feeling the effects of that one. Again, a couple of unnecessary fouls here given away by both teams. Really not needing to step in at those moments. 38 minutes gone by so far. Bobcats up 3-0. If you're the Skyhawks, you don't really want to give away a foul in this spot and allow the Bobcats to get on the end of it.
Yeah, late in the first half here, you don't want to bury yourself even further.
Smith with the delivery. McCann! A great touch by McCann to lead that one in. I can't even call it a bicycle because it's not, but that was fantastic.
What a beauty from McCann.
I don't know what you want to call it, but at the end of the day, it's a goal, so let's just...
Dub it the half bicycle.
There you go, a half bicycle.
Say unicycle. Call it that. McCann recorded another goal. He's been on fire as well the last few games. He recorded a goal against Harvard in their loss. So McCann has been another player like Budai that's just been an energizer bunny coming off of the bench as a sub. What a play, the unicycle goal.
Absolutely fantastic, and that's going to be McCann's second goal of this season so far. Another assist rewarded there to Smith. That'll tally him at 2 as well, but we had just mentioned how that was, even all the way out there, that wasn't really a great position. At this point, can you even say there's any good spot on the field to give up a foul against the Bobcats? And Smith, a beautiful delivery, nobody guarding McCann. He gets the end of the flick on that, and Kutu just right past him, doesn't even give him a chance. Miller now trying to get his name on this score sheet as well. Wilder, he's going to drive this one to the end line. He'll pull that back, right-footed. Not able to find anything there. Hadzic clears that one all the way back for Rysad. 4-0. The Bobcats are up so far, 39 minutes in. 5 minutes left to play in this half. Rysad for Bozic. All the way back for Pinto. Cross for Smith. Now, this is also a moment, too, where as the Bobcats, you don't want to get comfortable because then that's when you're going to allow the Skyhawks to get back into the game. You might be 4 goals up, but one game for the Skyhawks could change. One goal could change the momentum completely.
Yeah, you don't want your opponent to walk back into the game. They scored early in their first game of the season against Boston College. A minute into the game, they went up 2-0 and then gave up 5 consecutive goals. So they have been conditioned in some respect this season already on not allowing teams to come back into the game. And building off what you said, Meaghan, before, every time we've mentioned that they have a really good look to capitalize on, they've capitalized on it. And that's the mark of a good team.
It certainly is, and especially this year they have so much talent, so you might as well put your best foot forward and go for it every game. Wilder on the ball, plays this one for Pinto. 4 for Bozic in the midfield. Bozic, a nice turn, not able to find Budai, though. Cleared by O'Sullivan. Wilder back on the ball, back for Bozic. Across for Freakstad. He'll turn back, no rush on getting rid of this ball. Back for Bozic. Rystad out for McCann. Now he'll dribble inside, finding Wilder on the outside. Wilder calls for an offside, though.
Wilder, McCann, and Budai off the bench have been very effective this game. See, they're really driving the offense. It helps when your back end is getting the ball upfield. We keep mentioning that in this first half, that they've done a great job, and they've really capitalized on all their opportunities as well. They've all contributed, and McCann and Budai are on the score sheet today already. So it's great to see that they're contributing this much coming off the bench.
A long ball from Kutu will go over the head of Miller. Being pressed was Nicky trying to get into the midfield and find the ball. Pinto's going to clear that, though, not giving him any chance. Hadzic plays this one forward. Moylan getting on the ball. Down the line, but no runner was following that play. Bobcats back under the ball. Bozic gets cut off there by O'Sullivan. Smith with the throw-in now. Bozic standing wide open in the midfield. He'll get this. Plays it back for Shirenbeck. Through the middle for Miller.
Scharnbeck's played a lot better since he first entered the game. He gave up that one opportunity, got walked on the one opportunity to Woznicki, but other than that, he's really been stout since, and Pinto's logged the big minutes. I don't think he's come off the field yet.
No. Now Pinto and Woznicki going a bit of a back and forth, and Rysad is going to give up a foul there against Woznicki. Another dangerous spot here, just on the corner there of the 18. Pisani having to line up his players now.
Only about a minute and 45 seconds left in this half as well.
3 Stonehill players standing over the top of the ball. Now, I don't know if they know this, but only one player can kick it.
Listen, maybe they're going to go for some crazy play like flying V formation or something, Meaghan.
You never know.
They might need anything right now to capitalize on the opportunity.
This is going to be Hadzic with the delivery here. Looking for an in-swinging approach. Hadzic fires it over the target. No pressure there for Pisani. He just followed that one right over top of the bar.
Got to get a shot on goal there, right? Get it to the net and on net. Maybe create some traffic in front and get a dirty goal, but skying it over the net isn't going to help in down 4-0.
No, sometimes you really don't have to do something. You don't have to be pretty all the time.
Keep it simple, right?
Exactly. And the way that the Skyhawks set up, too, is also interesting. They don't really put anybody in the box. It seems as if they want the approach where they want the ball played back to somebody standing on top. Sam McCann going to try and have another go. That gets picked off, though. He wins it back. Sam McCann now on top of the 18. Cuts inside. A right-footed shot. Easy save there for Kutu. A comforting one for him. Just get your head back in this game.
Yeah, Kutu made it track the ball nicely. McCann made a nice move to cut to the inside and get the shot off on the middle of the net, but it was right to Kutu.
Wilder on the ball. Back for Rysad. Miller. He takes it down. And their signal is the end of this first half. Quinnipiac Bobcats currently leading 4-0 over the Stonehill Skyhawks. I'm Meaghan Phillips, and alongside me, Matt Mugno. Join us in a couple of minutes to debrief the first half. First half recap. Now, Matt, what stood out to you in that first half?
Stat sheet at halftime. Svakula had 4 shots on net. We talked about it during the broadcast, how he's generating more offense, and he's that third man up. Now, Brog-Austin's injured, but that doesn't seem to be a problem as the Bobcats have 4 goals today. The subs contributing, and for the Skyhawks, it seems they can't generate enough offense unless it's coming from Woznicki, who had 1 look today thus far, driving the net on a defender that stepped in for Luke Allen, who doesn't appear to be back on the field, so it looks like Scharnbeck will be replacing him with Pinto in the back end for the rest of the game, and they tried to drive on a defender that had fresh legs early, try to get him on his heels, but that attempt didn't work. They haven't really generated much on the corner kicks they've had, and it looks like they're going to be changing their goaltender as well, moving from Kutu to Neto. So we'll see what the Skyhawks bring, but the Bobcats are in a comfortable position up 4-0.
Absolutely. And in case you missed Matt say it there, the Bobcats are up 4-0 so far in this game. What do you think the Skyhawks coach is saying to them right now?
I think as a program this year, they step into a D1, they become a Division I school and program. And I think it's really, Coach Reddish is probably echoing the sentiment that they're just trying to build here, trying to build in any way they can. And I think it starts with, in this game, at least generating offense. They may not be able to crawl all the way back into the game. And, of course, they're looking to compete. Of course, they're looking to win and make noise in the Northeast 10. But it looks like, I think he's probably echoing the sentiment that they're going to try and work here on generating offense and working on their game rather than worrying about the scoreboard right now, because the Bobcats are up 4-0. The Bobcats are handling them in this game, and I think it's a matter of trying to generate and echo what do you want to see from your team and what do you want to see moving forward. What can you build upon as they play conference play next game in the same respect as the Bobcats do. So they're going to be moving to play against opponents that are in their conference, And I think it's really just taking anything you can from these non-conference games and trying to learn from them.
Certainly, a lot of learning to do from the Skyhawks and a lot more repeating to do from the Bobcats, and as they've really taken their stride in these past few games and gotten a lot going. 6 minutes now until the second half starts. We will be back then. Welcome back for the second half of action between the Quinnipiac Bobcats and Stonehill Skyhawks. I'm Meaghan Phillips, and alongside me, Matt Mugno, bringing you the second half of action here. Bobcats taking this one strong in the first half, leading off 4-0. We did a bit of a recap in between the halftime. But, Matt, what have you really seen in that first half that stood out?
Bobcat domination, and the subs are really stepping up and playing really well for the Bobcats. And McCann, Wilder, and Budai, they blocked some big minutes coming off. Bursato coming off, and Luke Allen is injured. And Sternbeck really played well in replacement. He only gave up one opportunity. Matthew Pisani has not been challenged in net much. The Cheshire native. His parents probably coming from down the road today, haven't seen much action today, and didn't see much action in a few of the home games thus far this season because the Bobcats are doing so well defending, keeping the ball upfield, generating offense, and that's what the Skyhawks are lacking in all those departments. They haven't generated a lot of offense, and they've changed their goaltender. So we talked about that at intermission, but we'll see how that fares for them as they're down 4-0 entering the second half.
Buda trying to show his speed there. Not able to get on the end of the ball, so Diaz Neto is going to get his first touches. A lot of substitutions happening at halftime for Quinnipiac. One substitution, you've got Sander Sonstered coming in for Doman Bosic. He's going to play in the holding midfield position. And for the Skyhawks, we've got a boatload of subs here. Obviously, our keeper has changed. We've got Ryan Coutu came out. Carlos Diaz Neto was a goalkeeper substitution. Finbar O'Connor came in for Nicholas Vitti. Terrence O'Neill back into the game. Aiden Doyle checks in for Luke Fuller. Lago Luis de Sousa Vieira will check in for Aiden O'Sullivan, and Sean Ryan will check in for Michael Moylan. Alex Miller's going to get a foul called against him. Just on the outside of the 18. An in-swinging delivery here is going to be played. Easy out there for Sonstered as he gets his first touch on the ball. Back in there, and Pisani picks that one up with ease, walking out with it.
Routine header in the box for the Skyhawks. At least they're generating some offense. You know, Meaghan, they won 3-2 in their last game against the University of Hartford on September 17th, where they scored 3 goals in the second half. Owen Burke, Shane Finesca scored in the 62nd and 64th minute. 2 minutes apart, they had a 23-12 shot advantage and a 9-4 edge in corners. We haven't really seen opportunities like that today, which is surprising because they had fared well in their previous game.
Yeah, and with these changes, you really got to wonder if that's going to help them out as much as they need it to. Just getting one goal could obviously make a huge difference. Anything can happen in sports, it's always been said, but it is true. Now the Skyhawks launching that ball all the way across the box, and Rystad, he's going to get a throw-in, a bit of pushing and shoving there between Rystad and Fonseca. Miller, he loses the ball to Fonseca. De Sousa Vieira plays this one back. Back to De Sousa Vieira. He takes this inside of Wilder on top of the 18. No attempt there for Sean Ryan. And Miller is going to try and drive forward with it. Miller keeping the ball as Sonstered. Forward for Wilder. Back for Rystad. Sonstered on the ball again. Out for Rystad. Miller holding it up. Rystad for Pinto, who's just going to clear that one long. Try and find McCann, but not able to get on the end of that ball. Freestad. Now Budai doing a bit of pushing and shoving. Foul called against Budai.
Budai still has jumped to his game. Doesn't take him long to get re-energized, Meaghan.
And DaCosta keeping that that lineup in who ended out that first half have all stayed the same except for that one change. So DaCosta clearly saw something in them that was worth keeping them out there for.
Yeah, Bursato came out of the game and was subbed out right after he scored that beautiful goal in the first half, and we even seen the captain on the field since. So I think DaCosta's trusting his subs, and that's great to see. This is a game where you want them to gain experience, get the touches on the ball, because when you enter conference play, these games might not come as easy. You may not be up 4-0 heading into the second half against teams like Fairfield and Marist, who are coming up October 1st and 5th in a week's time. So I think it is really important that the subs are getting the touches and rest your better players, right? We saw Allen go down before. If they have some lingering injuries, let them regain their health.
Doyle's going to play with the ball. Sonser trying to get on it. Doesn't get a touch. Back out. And a good slide in there by Terrence O'Neill. Plays that one to Miller now trying to clear it. Goes all the way wide for Hargraves. A left foot clearance, but Pisani comes and gets his hands on that one, slowing the game back down. Skyhawks really picking it up a little bit here. It's been mostly in the Bobcats' end.
It's the consistency. We talked about duration before. It seemed like it was going up and down field the first 12 minutes of the game, and at about the 15-minute mark, it seemed to be all Bobcats in the first half. So it's the duration of that and consistency of the pressure that they bring. We're seeing they're bringing pressure now, but are we going to see that in 20 minutes, 25 minutes? I think that's yet to be known. But the way the first half went, I think they should try and learn from that and try to keep that consistency through the duration of the second half.
Now, you've spoken about going in a conference play, and the Skyhawks have even played a bit of competitors within the MAC conference, taking 2 away games they played on, Niagara and Canisius, both dropping both those games. But how does that fare for the Bobcats when looking into their season?
The Bobcats play Canisius and Niagara. They take Canisius on October 29th at home, and they play Niagara on the road on November 2nd. That's going to be tough because to close out your season in conference play, and you had stated it's an 8-hour trip to get up to Niagara, that's going to wear a little bit on your team.
Miller driving into the box here. He takes it left foot, and he's going to try and go across the keeper, not able to. Sam McCann just launches that one over the bar. Sam McCann trying to add his name on that board once again.
The yawning cage. He had the unicycle and now the yawning cage. We'll see what else comes from McCann's foot today, as he's been on fire. He's really generating offense. He really did have a lot of that net, at least from the angle we're seeing it at up here in the box. What a play by Miller to cut to the middle and generate offense, move the defender, try and get the pass across, and had the shot opportunity. But it's great to see, again, that these subs are contributing so much.
Miller, again, is one of those young players who has a lot of technical skill to him. And when he gets on the ball, he's almost like a magnet as well. The ball just goes wherever he wants it to. And it's quite impressive to watch, especially when you're in tight with all of the defenders around you. And you just need to keep the ball and keep composed. But he's quite impressive to watch so far.
The mini magnet. Well, DaCosta, I love to see that. He's so energetic on the sideline, right? Like Jim Reddish is so laid back, and there's different coaching styles, but DaCosta's always talking to. Look at like the communication with the subs. It's great to see that he has that much energy in a 4-0 win. You know, it's don't take the foot off the gas mentality, and I think that's also what's really kept the Bobcats this energetic throughout the season, and why their subs come off the bench with so much energy. There's a high demand, and Coach DaCosta is demanding a lot from this team this year. They're really succeeding, and last year, talk about conference play, that's where they struggled and that's where they lost. They didn't get into the MAC playoff. They were the first team cut off from the MAC playoff, and it was because they struggled a little bit. They didn't have the variety in goal scoring as well. With Bragassen, it seemed like all the scoring was coming through him, and they didn't really have that support.
Sam McCann again, a through ball. Nice by Budai. And Sam McCann just going to slot that one to the right side of the keeper.
Chalk it up to the breakaway. One-on-one defeats the defender with a beautiful strike. McCann again. He's all over the place. He would have had the hat trick if he put the ball in the yawning cage. He has the unicycle, a nice break in there. What a day it is for Sam McCann coming off the bench, and can't even really say coming off the bench. He's probably logged more minutes at this point than some of the starters have. A beautiful goal to defeat the keeper one-on-one, and the Bobcats are up 5-0.
That's another one of the Connecticut natives from Stamford, Sam McCann. He's a sophomore here, really finding his footing this year. Impressive also to watch in his summer journey for the Vermont Green. I believe that's really where he just found his confidence on the ball. Last year, played amazingly when he was able to get into the games, but not getting as many minutes as he is this year.
Listen, if you thought Sam couldn't, well, now Sam McCann. Sam McCann.
That's a good one there, Matt. I'll let you have that.
I try. Meaghan, try and remember that one. Try and remember that one next game you're on.
I definitely will. I'll bring it up again. Freakstad trying to break through. He'll play Budai. Budai never running out of energy on this right side. One touch, plays it through, but not able to get past the Skyhawks defender, Hargraves. Hargraves, a bit of pushing and shoving, gives up a unnecessary foul as it was going to be rewarded as a Bobcats throw-in. Now it's a foul.
That's something we haven't touched upon. I think Hargraves made a few good defensive plays. He blocked a shot that looked like a sure goal with the keeper diving the other way early in the game. He's had a few breakups in the defensive end, but I think because they're so bogged down on the defensive side of the ball, we haven't really paid much attention to his efforts, and I think that's something that I've noticed as well today is Hargraves been played really well on the defensive side of the ball for the Skyhawks. I just think the Bobcats have had so many opportunities it negates it a little bit.
A deep delivery from Smith will be headed out of bounds, so Diaz Neto is going to get a goal kick out of this. Now, another thing that we haven't brought up is that the Skyhawks, their roster is actually pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the players giving up some of these fouls is most of their first-year players, and that's where, as a coach, you just have to look and just try and get your team to settle in a bit. They do have a lot of first-year and sophomore players on this field, but looking at Hargraves, he's the first year that's a foul that you don't necessarily want to give up, and more of your senior and your junior players are going to be the ones talking to him after and telling him in those moments, as was Nicky here on the ball, plays it to the outside of left-footed, and Rysett is going to get on the end of that one, putting that one out for a corner.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Meaghan, a lot of young players because Jim Reddish is trying to build this program. They've just become a D1 program, and they're trying to build with first years.
A fantastic finish there by the Skyhawks forward. That's going to be number 12, Ekram Hadzic.
Strike top left of the net. Now, we talked about, Meaghan, with Pisani and net being a little bit cold, right? You're not going to be that comfortable in conference play. And I think it's important to kind of look at these opportunities and say, when there's a quality opportunity, you want to stop those because those are probably going to be coming full force when you enter conference play. What a beautiful strike, though, out of the air.
That one almost got taken away from him, too. His teammate went to swing for it and ended up missing, which allowed it to get on the foot of Hadzic. But a fantastic strike just right to the upper 90. Pisani, no chance of that. No goalkeeper is going to get on the end of that. It's such a hard ball, especially with that pace coming in, not being floated at all. Pisani coming out here, almost squeaks past him. Side netting now. The Skyhawks. Pisani losing a bit of his footing there. Talking to Shirenbeck. Nicky was the one who was coming in on that one.
He's the guy you want on streaking on in, and the Bobcats just surrender a goal, and then they surrender an opportunity like that. Pretty quick how the Skyhawks have responded, and Woznicki's the guy you want to have the ball on his foot, man. You score there, it's 5-2. You're in a pretty good position for the rest of the game, but still remains 5-1 as the post is again a friend on the that side of the field. It looks like that goal is really all three posts have been hit this game.
They certainly have been. Smith with the ball. You can hear DaCosta telling them to get the ball into the opponent's half. Giving that away is Alex Miller. Setterquist going to start the counterattack for the Skyhawks. Pulling that back, Aiden Doyle. Wide open in the midfield, Terrence O'Neill. Goes across for Hargraves. Hargraves down the sideline. He looks for Sean Ryan. Ryan at the touchline. Plays this one back for De Sousa Vieira. All the way across the box. That's going to go out for a goal kick.
A lot of broken plays today. I think, from the Skyhawks as well. Like, that pass across just now, just really to nobody. Kind of like it wasn't really an attempt to create space, but it wasn't really to an area where there was a volume of Skyhawk players, right? And I think that's also where they've struggled today, is making those connections and through balls. That's where the Bobcats are succeeding as well. Like, that's where their advantage has been. I mean, that Sam McCouldn't if there wasn't a through ball there to him on that break.
João Pinto gives the ball up, but a great recovery play there by Jared Smith, not allowing Shane Fonseca to drive any further into the box. Sam McCann to Terrence Wilder. Plays this one back for Sonsrud. Freakstad. Turns it back for Sonsrud. All the way out to Rystad on the right side. Forward for McCann. Budai now. And Hargraves is going to kick that one out of bounds.
Does Budai ever, like, what does he eat? Right? He's got to be on something. He's just running around like crazy today. It's amazing to see how he has that much energy for such a long periods of time.
Well, you did call him the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he is, right?
It certainly is. I can't disagree with that one. Shirenbeck on the ball. Kicks that one forward for McCann. McCann touches it. Going to keep it inbounds. Budai. Having his jersey pulled, but nothing for him to be freaked out about. Plays the ball forward. Smith touches it down at the halfway line. Turnover. Fonseca plays it through. Now taking the keeper one-on-one. It's going to be D'Souza Vieira, who's going to be called offside. A bit too eager there. Puts himself offside.
That has to be the fourth offside of the game for the Skyhawks, and it's a shame because you think if they capitalize on half of those opportunities, they're still hanging in at maybe 5-3. Maybe it's a one-goal game, but some of those have been pretty clean breaks, and the Bobcats have been fortunate enough that they were offsides. I think DaCosta's not one to mince words in the post-game interviews. I feel that'll probably be something that comes up.
"60 minutes into this game, Bobcats lead 5-1. It's also hard, too, giving up a clean sheet so early in the second half. Obviously, that's something you want to hold on to, but now they just got to work and not allow that second goal to happen.
Well, Megan, I don't want to gas you up too much here, but I'm pretty sure you recorded one recently. Am I correct?
Yes. Saturday's home game, our first MAC conference game against Niagara. We won 4-0. Pretty good. Also on senior day. Always a good feeling to have a clean sheet.
Were the parents there?
Absolutely. Parents and sister. Alex Miller driving into the 18 is going to try and use his left. That'll go out for a corner as it deflects off of Chris Setterquist.
That was another good look from Miller to drive to the net. And, again, it's getting those reps. Everything's reps when in the athletic world, and it's great to see that they're getting the reps in. I keep saying off the bench, but they've really been playing this whole game, which is really impressive to see that some of their starters really even had too much action today.
Jared Smith on the corner. Deliver this near post. That'll get cleared out by Woznicki. Sonsrud gets on the end of that. Budai not going to be able to keep it in, so it's going to be a Skyhawks throw. Sean Ryan will pass that off for Hargraves. Miller tapping that out of bounds.
The Bobcats start their conference play against Siena on September 28th. They'll be there in Loudonville, New York, and then they come home, and they'll be against Fairfield and Marist on October 1st, which is a Saturday at 2 o'clock, and against Marist on October 5th, a Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Marist is a big matchup. That's going to be one they want to win, and I'm sure it's circled on their calendars.
Definitely two hard games back-to-back, and both at home, too, which the home crowd is always very helpful getting the team into the games, and I'm sure they'll have a lot more people showing. There are a lot showing at this game, but a lot more once all the other teams and people are able to come to the games. Just helps bring the spirit up and help cheer the team on once they get going.
Especially like we were talking about, like conference plays everything, and they saw how last season the wheels fell off, and this season they're going to want the wheels to be going in full motion. Right now the subs are looking great. The starters are looking great. Hopefully Brog Austin's back, and they'll really be a force to be reckoned with in the MAC. And also, as we mentioned, they're not going to have some of these games where they're going to have the advantage early like they had against Hartford and against the Skyhawks here.
Freakstown makes a good run, just plays it out too far from Wilder, but Wilder recovers it. Forward for Smith. McCann just outside the 18 plays that back for Wilder. One touch, left-footed, tries to find Budai. Budai just over the crossbar. That would have been a fantastic look by him if he was able to get over top of that just that little bit more. His chest was leaning back a little bit too much and put that way into the forest back there.
Another great look. Another great look. And Budai almost with the finish on the back door. Bounce. Listen, sometimes you can't control the bounce, right? Bounces and goes way over the net, but a great look. I believe Wilder was the passer on that play, the playmaker. And again, up front, McCann, Wilder, Budai looking stellar so far in their appearance. Miller jumping in on the offensive side of the ball. Not enough good things to say about this group right now.
A substitution for the Skyhawks. Jared Raposa is going to come in for Shane Fonseca up top, and a couple Bobcats also getting ready to come in. Sterngard standing at the halfway line, preparing himself for the last little bit of action here. 64th minute, Bobcats up 5-1. A long ball through the middle, Shirenbeck just off his head, but back to Pisani. Rystad on the ball. Woznicki pressuring him. Freakstad just a bit frustrated with that. Not sure how, wondering how he didn't get a foul on that, but a foul now called against the Bobcats.
We talk about goalkeeping, and that was something the Bobcats had a negative with what happened last season in conference play was they lost their goalkeeper, and that's a major part of the team when you lose your starting goalkeeper. Now I think this season it's going to be more about can they face quality teams in rapid succession like we mentioned with Fairfield and Marist.
Delivery by Sean Ryan, put out by Sonstrud. Skyhawks definitely came out in the second half a bit faster than they did in the first half, but again, the game's slowing off a little bit. Skyhawks with a bit more possession this half, though. And going to get a corner was Nicky. Will set this up, trying to play it quickly, catch the Bobcats off guard. He does so, plays out to the back post. Jared Smith getting up for that one, heading it out. Budai now going up for it. Budai can clear that one out. It's going to be headed back in by Setterquist. Now Wilder. He gets tripped.
I'm sure these players up front for the Bobcats also appreciate the opportunity, having been behind Austin and understanding their role, but being behind Austin and Bercedo in the first 7 games of the year. Now they'll have the opportunity. They've had the opportunity today to really be the players up front, making all the plays and logging the big minutes. So I think they appreciate that, and I think they've really seized the opportunity as well. They've done such a great job generating offense.
So we see Sterngard coming in. He'll replace Freakstad. Freakstad doing a good job when he's been called upon.
Mm-hmm. He scored last home game against Sacred Heart. A lot of players had a really great game. Svekula had a goal and 2 assists in that game, and that's how he was named the Offensive Player of the Week in the MAC. But Freestad also had a goal in that game to put them up 5-0.
McCann back for Sterngard. Sterngard forward for Wilder. McCann on the ball inside the 18. Plays that one back for Smith. Looks up to deliver, not able to do so. He drives down to the touchline. Smith now gets a corner. After that goes off the back of the Skyhawks defender.
Sterngard comes into the game and already has touches on the ball. It's crazy to see. It's really great to see for the Bobcats, and he's such an asset now. We already mentioned this game. He's contributed to the score sheet and gets back into the game. He already has touches and is making plays.
Sterngard near post delivery. Wilder is going to be the one who gets on it. Sterngard tries to put this one back in. It goes off of the foot of O'Connor for the Skyhawks. Wilder sets that one down for Sterngard. Switches that back for Rystad. All the way out now for Budai. Budai chips over the foot of D'Souza. And Wilder just wide of the target. Budai showing a bit of his frustration on that. I think it took a deflection. The Bobcats are going to get a corner off of this one. But Wilder, a great look from him to hit that one touch. Just pops up over the crossbar.
Sterngard, you see he was really motivated there. He was yelling at his teammates in a positive way, getting them hyped up. That's what you want to see. Again, Tecasa echoes that, and it's a trickle-down effect. They don't want to take their foot off the gas, and Budai had a great look. It was funny because it went from Wilder to Budai, and then this play was Budai to Wilder, and they just missed the finish.
Smith with the delivery. A good punch out there by Diaz Neto. Sterngard gets on the ball, plays out for Sandström.
Seems like he's had the ball this whole time.
A good delivery by Sterngard, but Scheirenbeck just not tall enough to get on the end of that one. He might be 6'3", but that one just went over his head. Budai at the midfield line plays out for Sandström, out for Miller. Scheirenbeck back on the ball for Rystad. Miller drives forward. Budai, a nice touchback by him. Rystad to Sterngard, back for Rystad. Sam McCann not able to turn with the ball. Now Sean Ryan keeping this one at the midfield line. Sam McCann's pressure being felt.
He's been all over the field as well today. I know he said Budai's the Energizer Bunny, but Sam McCann today.
Budai back on the ball. Sandström.
The Bobcats have really possessed here. This is what we were talking about before, that as the half and as the clock keeps moving up, you know, where's the possession? And it seemed like, again, it was a little bit back and forth to start this half, but it seems like the Bobcats have possessed most of the time here, if not a majority of this half after about the first 10 minutes. We talked about the duration. How long can you possess? How long can you keep the game back and forth and create your offensive opportunities? And for the Skyhawks, haven't created much in the last, I would say, 15 minutes of play.
And he even talked about taking your chances when you get them, and you said that was the difference between the Bobcats and the Skyhawks, is that the Bobcats, when they get their looks, they're not afraid to let go of the ball, but the Skyhawks just getting one too many touches sometimes. Was Nicky trying to get on the ball, Scheirenbeck doing a good job of blocking off his keeper, so Pisani can just pick that one up with ease.
Yeah, it seems those offside plays also really hurt them. They had on the left wing an opportunity where it would have been a one-on-one with the keeper and the striker moving in, and it was called offsides to start this half. So there were about 3 or 4 offsides calls that really could have helped the Skyhawks. And now Budai's moving in. He's streaking in heavy, but he gets tripped up.
He'll roll around on the ground just a little bit, holding his ankle, but a great look there. And a yellow card here is going to be given. It looks like the yellow card was given to the keeper, but
wouldn't it be something if McCann had the opportunity for a penalty kick here?
Yellow card rewarded to D'Souza Vieira. Jared Smith standing over this, a left footer. Sterngard also on this one as a right footer. Smith going to take it right into the wall. D'Souza Vieira is going to take the blunt end of that one.
For anyone that's ever questioned the wall, that's exactly why it's effective.
Now foul called against the Bobcats. In the 72nd minute, the Bobcats still up 5-1. D'Souza Vieira on the left side, cuts through the middle, plays it forward for Woznicki. Woznicki, great defending by Rystad, gets his team a goal kick, and a whole lot of substitutions coming in here. Let's take a look at the Bobcat substitution. Blake Hilton, a sophomore goalkeeper. He's going to come in and replace Matt Pisani. Drew Seguro will be taking out Terrence Wilder. And we will also see Rom Wasserman will be replacing Jared Smith.
Pisani getting cheers probably from his family and friends, as he's a Cheshire, Connecticut native. That's where I go shopping for my groceries, but that's where the goalkeeper for the Quinnipiac Bobcats hails from for this T1 program.
And 2 substitutions on the Stonehill end. Interesting one here. Jacob Woznicki will be coming out. Colby Meyer will be taking his place. And Ethan Kane coming into the game for Terrence O'Neill.
Listen, Woznicki had to come off the field at some point. They've had him out there the entire game, as he is their main striker with 5 goals on the season in 6 games started.
Sean Ryan with a foul. Not called against him, my apologies. Standing over the ball to take the free kick. But the Bobcats get on this one. Sam McCann showing his burst of speed. 3 Bobcats running up. Sam McCann is going to try and take the goalkeeper one-on-one. Plays it through the legs. Sam McCann with his 3rd goal of the game.
Megan, you could say it.
Oh, yes, Sam McCann.
Sam McCann with the hat trick today. Making the most out of this opportunity. He probably took that from the half field.
Oh,
all
certainly.
the way in.
Certainly did.
Another beautiful play. Unicycle play. He had another streaking goal. A beautiful strike one-on-one with the goaltender. And here he brings the ball from half field all the way in. One-on-one again with the keeper and scores. Sam McCann today. This is his game here.
This definitely is Sam McCann's game, and he just proved to everybody what can he do and what he does best, and he has that speed, and we've mentioned speed on their forward line has definitely been a big thing for them. Jason Budai's got that speed, but all the way running up with him, Drew Seguro even up there trying to get on the ball, and if McCann was not able to pot that one, he had 2 other Bobcats right beside him ready to put that one away, but McCann just a fantastic game by him as he subs out. David Bercedo back on the field, but all command should be going towards Sam McCann today.
DaCosta, a big hug for McCann coming off. All of his teammates high-fiving him, and Bercedo comes in replacing McCann. Never thought we'd be saying that on this broadcast today. Yeah, the Bobcats on that play, on the goal play from McCann for the hat trick, had 3 players moving in. Like, that's the attack you want to see the rest of the season, is you have those clean opportunities where you have some space, get numbers upfield. They were up 5-1, and they just add to that 6-1. McCann with 3 of those goals, and those opportunities came because they put so much pressure on the Skyhawks at midfield, and then were able to transition and move the ball quickly into the offensive side of the field.
Rysad able to clear that out of the 18 for the Bobcats. Sterngard on it, back for Sonstead. All the way across now. Wasserman for Bercedo. Wasserman brings it down for Pinto. Looks for that cross ball for Budai. Now that gets flicked on. Budai is going to get on the end of it. Coming down the right side, he slows it up a little bit, allowing his team to get in. Back for Rystad. Out again for Budai. Rystad finds Sterngard. Forward now, the Skyhawks are going to move the ball. Great work there by Drew Seguro. Trips up over the player, but allows David Bercedo to get back on the ball. Bercedo for Sterngard. Out for Wasserman. Miller in the midfield. Tries to back heel it. A little bit of a cheeky move, but Hargraves was right on the end of that one. Read him like a little book. D'Souza coming on the left side. Rise set now. Good step by him. And that'll go out of bounds. Colby Meyer standing on this one. Substitution here for the Skyhawks. Checking into the game will be Andrew Berardinis. He will replace Sean Ryan. Substitution for the Bobcats as well. Alex Miller checking out. Ryan Lim will be coming into the game. Kane heads it down. It goes all the way back, though, for Hadzich. Switched across for Mazza Bergeron. And Seguro playing it forward for Barcedo. Barcedo showing his speed. Takes that one down. Now Sterngard gets on this one. Sterngard fighting a bit with the Skyhawks defender.
Two of your best players, midfielder and Sterngard and Barcedo, attacking the ball as if it's a one-goal game when they're up 6-1. That's what you want to see out of the Bobcats in terms of their drive and their, the engine they run on. They're not giving up, and they're up 6-1. So I think attacking the ball and attacking those opportunities, you saw how hard they fought for that ball right there. That's what you want going into conference play next game.
Some more substitutions for the Bobcats. Andrew Sullivan coming in for João Pinto. Tyler Doherty taking out Magnus Rystad. Alex Hawley checking back into the game, and he replaces Jason Budai.
I want to take a breath for João Pinto. I think he's been in the entire game.
Certainly has, yes. He's when he gets back in the game, he's very solid back there, and especially being a first year in that center back position, that's very key. And having two first years in that center back position, might we add, is also very important. But picked off here by Kane. He plays this one across now just over Blake Hilton's hands. Unsure of where Blake Hilton was looking. He kind of just went up and followed the ball instead of attacking the ball. But a great shot and finish there by the Skyhawks, Colby Meyer.
Does depth have to do with a goal like that, Meaghan? When you're a keeper, the depth, your angle?
It definitely does, but I'm not really sure of what Blake Hilton was looking at. Colby Meyer was standing wide open in that position, and no defender really stepped out to him, so he had a clear look at the ball. If he's got to come out and step for that one and try and make that save, and it just goes up and over his hands, and that's something as a keeper is definitely not what you want. I'd rather have a goal scored on me as the one against Matt Pisani was. Rip that one top corner. It's a lot harder to save. And DeCosta even showing a bit of frustration on his end, too.
I wonder what the argument there is for DeCosta as the ball moves upfield.
Barcedo is going to break through the midfield line. He'll play that forward for Sterngard. Sterngard taking that to the corner. 6-2, the Bobcats lead in the 78th minute.
Sterngard's another one that just keeps going. The consistency of their conditioning is really impressive. I think this year it's very notable considering it's up and down the lineup.
Bit of tic-tac-toe there between Sterngard and Wasserman. Sterngard coming up with the ball back for Wasserman. He takes it towards the touchline. Not able to get on it, but Sterngard back for Seguro. Seguro driving into the box with it. Now Hawley tries to just put that one through, a little bit of a toe poke, and a penalty is going to be given to the Bobcats. A handball. Eric DeCosta throwing his water bottle in frustration, but the Bobcats able to get the call for them. Now the Skyhawks coach giving his frustration.
Reddish is very upset over the call.
Sterngard, give me the one standing over the penalty for the second time today.
Could he go 2 for 2?
Knocks this one. A great save there, but Sterngard finishing up on that rebound. Very hard for a keeper. Got to make that first save, Diaz Neto. He's able to do so, and it's just easy for Sterngard to pot that one back across the keeper, getting his second goal of the game. Now,
collects his own rebound. What a play. Sterngard's been all over the place. He was the Rookie of the Week for the week of 9/11 last week, and again, proving why he is that guy. He is him. 2 goals on the season, and he already had an assist today. What a play. 2 for 2 on the kick, and the Bobcats lead 7-2. I did not think we were going to be reading a scoreboard that read 7-2 today, but Stormguard adding to that lead that they already had, and he's been all over the field today. We just talked about his conditioning, and he's the man on the kick. 2 for 2 on the kick. Very impressive.
Alex Hawley's going to move the ball forward for Seguro. Plays it for Barcedo. Not able to find Seguro again. Sullivan tracking back on the ball.
I think it goes to show you DeCosta's built a program over 18 seasons, and the Bobcats have had a team for longer than that, certainly. Whereas the Skyhawks have been around for a long time, since the 60s, but they've just become a Division I team. It takes time to build that. We talked about how there's so many first years. It's going to take time for them to gain experience, and there's going to be some growing pains with that, and I think that it's definitely reflecting in the scoreboard today. A very established program under a coach that's brought this team places in DeCosta, brought the Bobcats places. Their really fluke season was last season where they didn't win in conference play. They've been consistently in the playoff, the MAC playoff, and in 2017, 18, and 19, they were one of the best teams in the MAC. You look at the Skyhawks side of things, they've just become a D1 program. So I think you're seeing those growing pains being reflected in the scoreboard today.
A rough touch there. Given back from Shirenbeck. Blake Hilton able to deal with that one, though, as he had 2 Skyhawk players there in case there's any messing up to be had. And a foul is going to be called on Alex Hawley as he wraps over the top of the Skyhawk player who went up for the header.
Alex Hawley's from North Haven, Connecticut. There is a school for Quinnipiac there for a lot of health science majors and nursing majors, and it's a beautiful campus for anyone that's ever been. I would suggest if you wanted to visit, it has a nice park. There's a fountain. There's benches. But he hails from North Haven, so he's another, like Pisani, another Connecticut native that's from a very local high school. I think that's very interesting in terms of the scouting, right? Didn't have to travel too far, just down the road.
Skyhawks with possession. Mazza Bergeron cuts inside on his right foot, plays that one all the way back for O'Connor. O'Connor going out wide. A left-footed cross in. Blake Hilton coming out to claim this one. He's going to try and do a bit of time wasting in the 82nd minute. Bobcats up 7-2. Sullivan on the ball. Back for Shirenbeck. Takes this one on his right foot. Out for Sonstrud. Hits Ryan Lim in the back with it, so that allows the Skyhawks to get on the ball. A yellow card is going to be given to Ryan Lim. A bit of a tough call there when 2 of the Skyhawk players are crashing in for the ball, and Lim is standing there right in the middle of all of it. Mazza Bergeron going to be standing over top of this ball. He'll deliver in. Cleared out there by Sterngard, all the way up to half for Barcedo. Looking at some of the statistics of this game, the Bobcats have had 26 shots, but 13 of those have been on goal, compared to Stonehill's 3 shots on goal. Each team pretty equal in fouls. Bobcats giving away 12 and Stonehill giving away 10, which is considerably good for the Bobcats. They do give away quite a bit of fouls, which has been a bit of their low point in some of these games and where these goals have come from, but done a better job today at controlling that.
Here we talk about Jason Budai was the leader in assists with 2 coming off of the bench, and he's a Queens, New York native. For any Mets fans out there, they just clinched the playoffs, so hopefully that'll reflect in the Bobcat season here, cross sport, but hopefully the Bobcats will make the MAC playoff this year after missing it last year in conference play.
Alex Hawley, right-footed delivery. That one gets cleared out by Aiden O'Sullivan. Seguro. Sullivan now on the ball. Plays it for Seguro again. Seguro cutting inside the 18. Back for Lim. Lim, a left-footed shot. Easy save there for Diaz Neto. They always say to manifest things and they'll become real. So you might as well manifest it now at the beginning of their season as they head into conference play that the Bobcats are going to have a very successful season this year. 6 minutes to go here in this matchup between the Stonehill Skyhawks and Quinnipiac Bobcats. Bobcats with a 7-2 lead. Holly plays this one down the line for Lim. Lim cuts in, plays it for Sterngard, taps that off for Holly. To the top of the box for Barcedo, all the way across for Seguro. Seguro, right-footed, easy claim for Diaz Neto.
The way the Bobcats, these are really like the third-string players, right? I think they could compete against the Skyhawks, I think, for a longer duration of the game. The way they generated opportunities in their limited time. The depth of this team is so intriguing because it's always a good sign to have depth, no matter what sport it is. It could be hockey, it could be baseball, it could be basketball. You have people coming off the bench and contributing. That's exactly what you want in McCann, Budai, and now these players that haven't had a lot of minutes all season are generating offense.
This is also a game, too, for Stonehill to just look at all the positives that they can take out of it. They really have gotten some good chances, and some of the plays that they've created have been very good, and that's what their coach needs to focus on. Yes, you don't want to lose a game 7-2, but at the same time, these are really just warm-up games for going into conference. Being in the NEC, they do have some tough competition, and this being their first season, being a Division I team, it's going to be interesting to see how they put up with this season.
Yeah, you don't want to overcomplicate this game, right? Just take it as it is, simplify it, and look at the things that you could take away and say, if we capitalize on any of those offsides, we're in that game. We're in the game. Changes the course. It's not 7-2. Maybe at the point where it was 3-0, you score on 2 of those. Now it's a 3-2 game. Completely different game. So I agree, Meaghan. Just simplify the issues, take away what you can take away, and move forward, especially into conference play.
Raposa just puts that one into the stomach of Hilton. Easy save by Hilton. Rolls this one out for Doherty. Wasserman gets the Bobcats a throw in, knocking that one off the Stonehill attacker. Stonehill making a charge here, coming down the right side, going to the touchline. Right-footed, played in. Sonstrad is going to be on that one to clear it out. A great takedown there by Aidan O'Sullivan, but turned over. Seguro running for Barcedo to Sterngard, all the way back for Lim, who's going to play that one across for Wasserman. Wasserman on the left side. Takes an extra touch with it, giving that one straight away. Now a through ball played a bit too hard. That's that look that they've had all game, but just the pace of the ball has just got to come off just that little bit, which would allow Colby Meyer to get in on that. Seguro running up, takes a touch inside, gets tripped up there. A great play.
Colby Myers had a good game for the Skyhawks. He had recorded a goal. He just had that look there. One of the standouts, I would say, in this what will be lost to the Quinnipiac Bobcats, I think he's been one of those standouts for the Skyhawks that I think he came off the bench as well. I'm not sure if he started this game, but I think Myers been one of the players to definitely watch and keep an eye on for the rest of the season for the Skyhawks in conference play.
Holly playing that out for Seguro, going to be called off for an offside.
Their conference play starts, as I mentioned, as we've mentioned, all broadcast next game on September 29th. They'll play St. Francis College, Brooklyn, and they've been on the road for all of their starting games thus far. So they have a 7-game road trip to start the season. They're almost completed with it, but I've never heard of a program that started all 7 games on the road.
Yeah, quite an interesting approach, I must say. Traveling is definitely harder than playing home games. So it'll be interesting once they get their feet settled at home to see how they can take that forward. Just about a minute and a half here left to play. Bobcats leading 7-2 in this matchup. Stonehill definitely coming out with a bit more pace in this second half. Stonehill coach is just a bit frustrated with the refereeing, I do have to say, in this game. Mazza Bergeron lays that one forward for Owen Burke, who dumps that in, but Blake Hilton, no pressure on him. He's going to take that ball.
Well, the Bobcats have certainly shown their offensive talent and prowess this game, haven't they, Meaghan?
They certainly have, and that's one of those things they got to show to the rest of the conference is that, we might be up in this game 4-0, but if you're going to get a goal, that's fine. We'll get a goal back. And they haven't really taken their foot off the gas since this game started.
And that's great to see. I think that's something that carrying into conference play when games are going to be tighter, it's going to be you're going to have to grind out for wins. It's great to see that you have so many boots that can get the ball into the net. I mean, their contributions have come from so many players today on the score sheet.
Final 5 seconds here. Stonehill trying to get their last chance on the ball. Offside being called as that final buzzer goes. The Bobcats defeat the Stonehill Skyhawks 7-2. Thank you for joining us this afternoon on the broadcast. I'm Meaghan Phillips, and alongside me was Matt Mugno. See you next time.